What's up, you guys? Welcome back to Tierfing Crafts. Okay, it is a Thursday night, which is normal. It is also usually the night that we would be running. Let me adjust my shirt before I pop this camera on. Jeez, that would have been bad. It is also generally the night that ding. There we go. That we would be running our game of Pokemon Amethyst. However, due to some of the recent events of the week, that's not going to happen in the way that we were hoping it would. So instead, let's draw some Pokemon. After I make sure that that slide is completely open. Man. Hi, Rachel. Hi, Jared. Hi, Jeremiah, I think is what Arwen said. Awesome. We've got a whole bunch of people on already. So, in front of you, right here. Let me flip that one camera over, by the way. Where is it? There it is. Nope, that one. Thank you. Ta-da. Try and get a different angle on that one. One that's a little less way up there. All right, so right in front of you, this right here, is a Pokemon concept that I started working on 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, something like that. Right about, give me one of my drinks, by the way. Right about the time that, thank you, that we started playing. Probably right around session 1 or session 2. Okay, Tim. Had a thought. Had a couple thoughts. One of those has already been fleshed out, and I will be posting pictures of that on the Facebook page here soon. The other thought I have worked on and worked on and worked on and worked on. And I have come up with a few ideas and played around with a few ideas, creating a hermit crab Pokemon or something akin to a hermit crab in aesthetic more than anything else. Not sure if me and Arwen are the only two that know this, but hermit crabs are a type of lobster. Same with coconut crabs. They are not crabs. They are crustaceans in the same family as lobsters. I am joined by our friend Richard, who is currently not visible. Now he is. But so I started with the first stage and got it knocked out while I was working on the Pikachu clone for this region. Anyone who is a fan of Pokemon that's been playing for at least a short amount of time knows that every generation has some sort of clone of Pikachu or another. The general basics to a Pikachu clone are as simple as possible. Let's see if I can actually find the quote on how. Really? Turn my volume off. I forgot about that. Okay, so actual quote from Ken Sugimori. In every generation, we have a cute electric type Pokemon that fills the Pikachu role. In the spirit of this tradition, we've created Pichu, Plusle, Miniune, and Parsharishu. They're all following in the footsteps of a true star. Ha 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 ha. This Pokemon's only purpose is the cuteness. We create other Pokemon with the mindset that simply being cute isn't enough, but this one really just has to be cute. That is all. So, with that, a few weeks ago, if you guys follow the Facebook page, I did post on there what time I would be starting game or something akin to that. And in that post, the image that was used for it is the Pikachu clone for this region. Which I've got to find the message because I did send it to a few people, but come on, work with me here, Tater. Thank you. The first stage of that one is called Volkit. It is based on a ground squirrel of sorts. Thought it was cute. So that fills the cute role. This one, however, is not meant to fill that cute role. This one is meant to fill a few other roles. My wife being a fan of hermit crabs, and hermit crabs having a very interesting and distinct place in the ecosystem, are little thieves. Despite what people think about them, hermit crabs are thieves. Where do their shells come from, honey? Thank you.
They're recycling thieves.
They are generally recycling thieves. However, they are notorious for stealing each other's shells.
That's just only because there's not enough in the wild.
That is true. And because of this, I wanted to create a Pokemon that kind of follows that role. Because there are quite a few Pokemon that do have shells. Quite a few Pokemon that do what?
You said you're doing something, Marcy. I figured I would too.
Okay. But
I'm just in my own little corner over here.
I figured there needed to be a Pokemon that kind of fit the same role. However, this Pokemon does not doesn't fill that role in the same way that actual hermit crabs do, or coconut crabs, because both, as babies, do the same thing and will snag a shell. For coconut crabs, it's until they develop their own hard carapace.
They have shells until they grow out of the shell, and then they end up growing a hard butt.
A hard butt.
That's the only way I can explain it. They grow with a hard butt.
And since I know it's not picking up on the microphone, we're gonna do this the easy way. Because I have two lapel mics, not one. Turn that one on.
What are you doing?
There you go. Now you can explain and people can hear you.
With the
because I'm using
crabs?
my lapel mics. I'm not using my my big boomy mic. So if you guys didn't hear that, coconut crabs develop a carapace over their tails.
It's just like a hard.
After they grow out of their
shell.
Out of their shell stage. So once they get to the point where they no longer fit in a shell, they'll start growing a hard butt.
Pretty much. It's like a hard callus.
Yeah.
And they don't stop growing.
Coconut crabs will continue to grow.
Yeah, they continuously keep growing. That's why some of them are just like as big as garbage cans.
Trash can crab.
Like the metal trash cans.
Which, if you guys have not seen coconut crabs, definitely go and look at coconut crabs. They are very Interesting crabs for sure.
I mean, I don't think a lot of people realize that crabs are like scavengers.
Crabs are. That's what's
So
weird though
that's
is
why in other countries when they have this coconut crab, that's why it's like in their trash and stuff because it's just going after the food.
which another
Hi
thing.
Sam,
Hi Sam. Another thing that gets me is
miss you
that
little buddy.
coconut crabs and actually all hermit crabs in general are not strictly herbivoric. They are omnivoric. They do eat both plant matter and proteins
We have a crab that absolutely will fight the other crabs for pieces of corn.
for popcorn. Yep.
No, like corn.
Oh,
Like if
for
I put
just the
corn on the
corn.
cob in there, like he will fight the other crabs for it. It's yours actually, Sanguinus.
Sanguinus.
Yeah.
And to anyone that knows where that name came from,
He's huge.
he is astronomically huge.
He's down molting currently.
So he is about to be even bigger. Um,
I think he's in like a 3-inch opening shell now.
Currently in a 3 inch.
Yeah, he just changed shells and then he went down.
So if he's currently in a 3 inch, there's no telling what size he's going to be whenever he comes back up.
I mean, he's already the size of your hand.
And anyone that knows me outside of just online,
You have big hands.
I don't have little hands. My fingers are really meaty, and I actually have decent size, meat hooks.
You got
My
a good
ring,
bigger picker?
that is a size 12 ring, and the only finger it fits on is my ring finger. This crab, if he stretches out, extends about that far over my fingers. Like he's a big crab.
Rachel said, not yet. I'm sorry. I got sidetracked. I'll have it for you next time we play. He said he'll message you, Rachel.
He was in the middle of
What is that, a kaiju? That crab is working on becoming a kaiju.
This crab is working on becoming a kaiju. Actually, no.
He's actually pretty well mannered for being crab wise.
Let me explain how not so kaiju Sanguinus really is. The majority of the crabs that we have are what's the actual name for them? Purple pinchers is what they get called.
Caribbean crabs. I can't say their scientific name. I'm sorry.
The majority of what we have is purple pinchers. Purple pinchers will get decent size, but usually they don't get near the size of Sanguinus. So what was it, lilac?
Yeah, he's a lilac. He's definitely a lilac. I had one of my people that I talked to inform me of him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I sent pictures of him, and I'm like, I don't know what he is. And she said, yeah, he's definitely a lilac. He's very light purple.
So
very beautiful crab.
He is a lilac, not a purple pincher. Lilacs get what, double the size of a purple pincher?
Just about.
So they will, where a purple pincher will probably end up being about the size of my hand, they'll probably double and end up being about like that. Meaning that the shell that he will likely end up in by the time he gets that big would end up being something roughly the size of a conch shell, I believe.
Yeah, he can fit in those if he felt like it. He just likes the, instead of having like a D opening, he likes the round openings right now. So I'm not having to worry about it, but here shortly I'm gonna have to start buying some D openings for him.
Right. Which truthfully I really wish there was a way to make shells for crabs. The problem that
you can if it's food grade
that we're running into is
no, you can't make the shells, but you can put like food grade stuff from like your 3D printer and stuff. You can put that in there.
Yeah, you can make toys and stuff like that for them out of food grade PLA and things like that. Problem with doing that is they are very destructive.
They're like toddlers.
they will tear up
Everything.
anything you give them unless it's ceramic. And even then,
Like they've broken their food bowls that are ceramic.
they will.
Sanguinus fell out of the. Hermit crabs are lazy, so instead of like climbing down on things, they just like fall out of the trees. So yeah.
And the way their current tank is set up, their current tank, meaning that we do have another one, and anybody that's been to our house knows this. Right to this side of me, we actually have a 200 gallon, 200 gallon, 250 gallon, something like that.
Yeah, it's big.
Tank that is going to be
just for the hermit crabs.
Converted over specifically for the crabs.
That way I can get this 55 gallon out of my room and the 40 gallon that's in there.
And then get the terrarium out of there and all of that.
Yeah. Leave more room for my bedroom because currently it's a little squished in there.
But anyone who is looking at this, right here on the side is technically another pair of legs.
You not want to do this with me?
Now, I haven't completely finished off the design. I would, but we just like. I think Richard's just gonna.
I think we kind of all are. It's kind of been like a meh day. It's been a rainy day.
It has.
I felt like Morticia today. I was like, it's a glorious, beautiful day. It's because you're old.
That's not reason.
Yeah.
It is a reason.
Ask Nick. It's a perfectly good reason.
Right. I slimed my way out of bed.
He's done it since we've been together.
Like, and so I'll just rotate my body and just kind of.
He's like, I didn't do that until here recently. I was like, no, honey, you've always done that since we've been together.
But
5 years of him slamming out the bed.
Anyone who has ever actually seen a baby hermit crab or the little itty bitty,
they're microscopic.
They're microscopic, so you don't
when they're first born.
How long have we been streaming? 22 minutes. Okay, cool. They look like a sperm cell. Baby hermit crabs. That's kind of what they look like. They look like a sperm cell with little beady legs off the sides.
They don't have legs at first. They have to grow the legs. And then before they go into the shell, they grow their pinchers, and you can see their antenna. And they'll like that for a couple of days, and then they'll finally go to land, and then find the shell. And the shells are small enough that they can fit underneath your fingernails, and you can barely see them. And then they go in there, they go into their shells, and then they go underground and they molt for the first time. And then they come up and they get a bigger shell. And they continue that cycle for like 4 months until they start getting big enough to where like we can see them with the human eye. Yeah. And then after that, then they get bigger and bigger every time they molt. Kind of like a tarantula or a snake.
All right, and I believe that should be all of the line work needed. So, I'm not going to erase that just yet. I'm going to let it go ahead and flourish. And I'm going to move my idea notebook over here to where you guys can see it. Okay.
Your doodle pad?
Technically my doodle pad. The idea for this cute little mon, in terms of Pokemon, would grow. That's the whole point. Is every level it's getting bigger. It's natural growth progression. It's the way Pokemon should be. I don't care. Anybody from Nintendo, start listening because this is a thing. I'm just gonna say a level 100 Pikachu should not be a foot tall. But this thing,
I approve this message.
This thing is Bob Ross probably gonna. Right, Bob Ross.
He tried to fall asleep to Bob Ross the other night. I'm like, I'm not falling asleep to Bob Ross.
Yeah, she doesn't want to listen to Bob Ross whenever it's bedtime, but I'll listen to it. But this one is what I hear when you guys are at bedtime too. roughly about 6 inches in height. It's not very big.
You said that at a very wrong
I
spot.
Did, but that's about 6 inches in height. When it evolves,
roughly,
it will evolve at roundabouts level 6 to level 8, somewhere in there. When it does, it will steal a Pokeball from your inventory. In the wild, it wouldn't steal a Pokeball. It would actually find an apricorn and hollow out the inside of it to make a shell for itself, which is where this design comes in. The idea is that this is going to be more Pokeball looking than it is anything else. There are quite a few Pokemon that do kind of already fill the role of mimic-esque Pokemon, such as Voltorb and Electrode, whatever the weird mushroom one was, because I can't remember the name of it right off the top of my head, and a couple others that's the aesthetic that they have is to be a mimic of something like a Pokeball or something that people would normally try to grab or obtain. This, on the other hand, wouldn't ideally have that same niche. Its whole basis is using
I looked up and read your
what is
comment.
there to make a shell for itself. So in order to make the shell, we're going to start by drawing out the basic shape of a Pokeball. And like everything else wonderful in Pokemon, whenever it evolves, it doesn't have to stay the same size, so it can change its size to match whatever it needs to be. So for this, whenever it evolves, that Pokeball ends up about the size of what's in between a softball and a volleyball? Like one of those mini basketballs.
An orange?
So probably, a tangerine.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Well, no. A basketball's too big. Volleyball's not much farther down from a basketball. But in between a basketball, or not a basketball, but a volleyball and like a softball, like one of those mini basketballs.
Yeah.
Something akin to that. Would be about the size of this thing's Pokeball shell. Now, what I did explain to someone else, I don't remember exactly who it was. I think it might have been Sam, actually.
Summer. Sam. Sam.
When this thing evolves, it doesn't matter what Pokeballs you have. It's just going to grab a random Pokeball. So no matter what you have, there is a chance that it could just end up in whatever Pokeball is in your inventory. For this one, I thought about keeping it a standard Pokeball, and then I decided that I didn't want to do that.
Hey, I had fun when Sam came down the other day.
I did too. Sam needs to come and visit more often.
I mean, we understand the frustration of the gas.
Oh, yeah.
Gas is ridiculous.
Especially when you live, what, 2...
He lives like 2 hours from us.
2.5 hours, something like
Yeah,
that?
he lives a ways.
For this one...
It was fun to have fun with Autumn, too.
Because...
We all found out what each other are scared about.
Yes, we did. We played, what was the name of that game?
Nightmare.
Which is definitely a fun game.
You're welcome. I bought it just for that.
For this, I think the ball I'm going to go with is going to be the quick ball, just because I like the pattern on it, and I think it would be interesting with a yellow and blue shell. However, part of that is to play off of a couple of things. One of those being, most of the time, if you see hermit crabs at like what is it, a beachside shell shop or something like that, they are usually in painted shells. Don't put your hermit crabs in painted shells; that will kill them.
Really fast. They can eat it.
They hermit crabs will eat through their shell and pick at it.
Well, they modify their shells for their eye stalks.
Yeah, and fix it to what they need. Now, this Pokemon's not going to be that.
Sam said he lives 2 hours from us if he does not take the toll roads.
2 hours if he doesn't take the toll roads?
Yeah, I take the toll roads. I ain't taking that dang long driving.
Right, especially now that most of the toll roads aren't even pay on site.
They just give it to you when you pick a tag.
Yeah. They photograph your tag and it tacks on to your tag renewal.
So y'all did talk about the crab having 4 evolutions.
It will have 4 potential evolutions after this stage, which I'll just show y'all now because I may not do more work on this on a live. The evolutions are very complex.
And playing the fear game and the film games were fun. Man, we were so far off on all those.
We were.
I was pretty close.
There, I will admit, there was a few.
And Nick got the easy one. Forrest Gump turned into Forrest, you know what?
Okay. So,
I don't even remember what I said on that one. I just remember it being funny.
I don't remember, but most of them were pretty raunchy. But
it's not Facebook approvable.
Then the Jolly Trolley or whatever it was.
No, it is not. So for this to evolve,
I don't remember what it was. We'll have to look.
There are one of 4 conditions to cause it to evolve. The first condition that is going to be mentioned is you have to have a Shelmet in your party, which, for those of you that don't know what it is, I'm going to comment the spelling of it. You can look it up. You have to have a Shelmet in your party. Now, Shelmet will typically evolve in the Pokemon games by being traded with a Carablast, which evolves into 2 different things. Not the point. The point is, if a Shelmet is in your party, when this thing reaches, it's the next point for it to evolve, which I believe for the standard is 20. I think I set it to like level 26. So it.
Ooh, goodness.
It evolves extremely early.
Yeah. That's a manly burp.
Stage, but then the second stage and the third stage is much longer. If you have a Shelmet in your party, it will evolve into Conquista. The name is literally a play off of Conquistador, Stab, quite a few things, which kind of all culminated into one. I didn't.
Come here. Dumb dog. Oh my gosh. I'm done.
The door.
I can't door today. I'm too busy chasing this stupid dog.
I know.
Gypsy,
Uses the shell.
come here.
Hi, Jessica.
Gypsy. Or scream in y'all's ear.
Go to bed, Gypsy. Conquistab uses the shell of the Shelmet.
I'm all yelling and I forgot I had this thing on.
Itself even further. All 4 of the evolutions are roughly the same height as, I believe it was Parasect, so about 3.5 feet tall, which is ridiculously tall. I'm just saying.
I wish you wouldn't have sat down.
If you have a bunch of kids
It has a nun.
that are running around catching these things, 3.5 feet is like shoulder height for a lot of kids. But
Unless you have our kid, he's gigantor.
right, I did stick to a lot of the same aesthetics of most actual hermit crabs, though. I did leave the armor-like aesthetic around the walking arms. And I did actually give it the antennas. The antennas are meant to look like that curled, swirled mustache, or at least a plate on it. Gave it the flutes around the shoulders, so on and so on. The helmet design itself is based off of an actual conquistador helmet, not the Disneyized or current modern media version of a conquistador's helmet. Welcome to everybody that's coming out on Facebook and on Twitch.
Hi, guys.
The interesting thing is the way the claws would work. The claws would be a large claw, small claw, because most hermit crabs have a larger claw and a not so big claw, but it's still decent sized and they'll still pinch you with it and it still hurts.
Like, I'll get out.
Oh, yeah. The smaller claw, it will hold about like this. And so
Their smaller claw is for to put their food in their mouth.
It's for the more finite.
So like their big
textures.
claw will like hold on to something big, and then the small claw will pick at it and
Right.
bring it to their mouth.
And so it will hold that other claw, but it looks like it only has the one in between it. And then whenever it actually goes to fight something, it will separate the two. And the back of the larger claw has something akin to an axe head on the back of the claw. The second evolution is still in the design works because I haven't gotten very far with it.
Hey, do you know where hermit crabs pee from?
I don't want to know.
You'll never guess.
If you say it's their face.
It's their face.
Interesting.
How did you know? Did I tell you that already?
Told me. I was supposed to say, no, you didn't tell me, but doesn't mean you didn't tell Richard. The second evolution possibility.
Sounded salty with that one.
Yeah, he did.
I'm really not worried about it. But
you told Richard, but not me.
The second evolution uses the shell of a Magcargo, which I'll type that one in too because there you go. All right, uses the shell of a Magcargo. In order to evolve into it, it would just have to hit level 26, 28, somewhere in there. While you have a Magcargo in your party, Magcargo loses its shell. This thing takes that shell. It becomes a water fire type. To the frosty one that is, it does not appear is in the chat right now, so he's probably not going to see this.
Who? New Ricky?
No. Oh, what's the name of this? Cryo something or another. Cryo Drake or I can't remember what it was. And he's probably gonna be like, dude, really? But the only other water fire type that I know of is Volcanion. And Volcanion is a fire water type, and it is the mythical for Gen 6. Also extremely cool looking in my opinion, but that's just me.
Everybody's Pokemon likes are different.
That's cool, right?
What? He looks like a big old canyon with a circle on his back.
I think this thing is meant to be like based off of like fire hydrants and stuff like that. But
intriguing,
right? Before I show you guys the third shelled evolution, we'll go to the other work in progress, which is if it doesn't end up having another shelled Pokemon in the group, it will evolve without it at level 30. Without fail,
Turkey.
it will be level 30 and it will
Without-
evolve into its final form.
Turkey.
Its final form
I have the
is
power.
based off of a coconut crab
Take this from me.
specifically, but I'm batting around which direction to go. I don't know if I want to go ground fighting. I don't know if I want to go with dark ground or dark fighting. And so I'm still playing with that idea, but that is if it doesn't end up with another shell. The hardest one to evolve into, which is the one that I have probably put the most attention to detail into, is the last one. The last one is a water ghost type that requires you to have a level 28. This one.
A level 28, this one?
Yeah, because I haven't come up with a name for it yet. In your party, whenever you have a Ninkata evolve into Ninjask and Shedinja. Instead of the Shedinja actually going to full form and becoming a Shedinja, this thing steals the shed and uses his. Wow,
We're good today.
we are wording really good today. Uses it as a shell, becoming a right. Becoming a water ghost type. Now, the water ghost type list is extremely short. I think there's all of maybe 8 to 10 somewhere in there.
Why don't you let the people name it? Why don't you ask them to come up with some names and we'll just figure it out then?
And then we'll vote on it. Oh, I have the mic now, by the way.
Oh, you have the mic now?
Yes.
I
have-
myself because I was like yelling for the dog to come in and yeah.
I am so sorry that she blew your eardrums out, folks.
I completely forgot I had that mic on.
But
I was more worried about getting that stupid escape artist in the house.
right, this will end up being this is probably my favorite evolution that I have worked on, just because aesthetically I think it looks really cool. It keeps to the large claw, small claw. It also definitely utilizes aspects of Shedinja. If you haven't seen a Shedinja,
Chill.
I believe that's how it's spelled. Don't crucify me if it's not. Go ahead and look it up. And that was what I played to when designing it. Was let's keep some of the same aspects there. Let's see how far we can push these aspects to create something interesting.
Dinsha. But I'm looking at you through the glass.
Wondering how much time has passed.
43 minutes.
It feels like forever.
I bet it
Forever
does.
feels like home.
All right. So back to drawing now that I've gotten all out of it.
I played
And
insane.
this design is still kind of a work in progress. I'm still working on exactly where I want what, how I want what.
When you want what?
One of the upsides to working with a smaller notebook to get design ideas out is I can thumbnail the idea around. And okay, so maybe I don't want the eyes like that. Maybe I want to expand the eyes into more of a circular shape based off of what I can see up above it. And then take that design and play around with it until I find a good balance between one and the other, and then draw it out accordingly, which is what I did with the first design. These were the pretty much the base sketches for what ended up becoming that.
What's that?
The Chidmet? Chidmet? Chidmet.
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 That sounds like shipment.
It's the beta versions.
Yeah, beta versions.
Those are the shiny ones that you'll never find.
Yo, this reminds me of
No.
someone who did this at the home.
Truthfully,
Yeah.
It kind of looks like her a little bit.
the Pikachu clones that I had done, I actually considered using the colors that I chose for them as their
I don't know.
minimal audio. I don't know. Give me a second. Let me check my
I'll turn up my phone.
my microphone.
Or we'll check if there's minimal audio.
No, or at least there shouldn't be. I'm peeking at.
No, so it's you.
He just
Yeah.
needs to turn up his phone.
You need to turn up your whatever you're
Go
on,
ahead and
Tim.
turn up your phone, Tim. See if that helps, or whatever it is that you're using to watch
Diva.
or listen. Which maybe if I can get this thing to readjust for me. There we go. Maybe no. Stop. There. Got it. Okay.
Behave.
Behave.
I don't know what this is, but I kind of love it.
Ooh, I like that.
Isn't that cute?
It is.
For this design, though I like the
Hers
way
just fine.
Yes, you do, Sam. I never doubted you for a second.
We love Sam.
I do.
I wish they lived closer.
I want to adjust the actual shape of the eyes and make it more of
He's one of my favorites.
shaped more akin to a hermit crab's actual eye stalks.
They're on top of their head.
Yes, they are on top of their head.
They're weirdos.
And
They fit me.
anybody who has played the Pokemon games knows that yes, there is already a hermit crab Pokemon, but Dweeble and Crustle are stupid.
Our hermit crabs are escape artists.
And I will hold that will be my stance on it forever. Dweeble and Crustle are stupid. That they really were not the best designed at all. However, unlike the beta version, I am going to design the opening where it is kind of broken open.
See, if I do
the
this
Pokeball
now, whenever I start writing,
to actually accommodate a little
Yeah.
bit more
and it's already
like
there,
a hermit crab, where they will chip away at the top of their shell to.
make room for ice stalks.
Truthfully, I don't mind Krabby and Kingler. Gen 1's crab Pokemon were quite interesting. I'm not so big on the Pokemon that are based on crawfish, specifically Crawdon. I think it's kind of dorky looking, but Clauncher and Clawitzer both have an interesting aesthetic to their design. I think Clauncher looks a little bit better than Clawitzer. That's just me. But none of them beat the Gen 1 crab Pokemon. I think they had the best design to them.
I just work here.
I just work here. All right. So now we're going to actually start shaping the rest of the face.
Your face.
And hermit crabs actually have a weird shaped body.
Their mouth is like underneath them.
Yeah, their mouth is where, like roundabouts where the upper chest, so roundabouts the collarbone for us would be. So whenever,
It's weird.
yeah.
It's like a tube.
So whenever they eat, it's actually really gnarly.
You know what? I didn't realize.
Which,
They're really cool animals.
looking at it now, I've made the
They fit
Pokeball
me so
portion
well.
a little too small,
Yeah.
but I can work with that and we can fix it as we progress through the design itself.
I want some Japan's
The blueberries.
the blueberries. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm getting this tank set up, getting ready.
I thought they were currently unable to be exported.
But people here are trying to breed them.
Oh, they're breeding them in the U.S. now.
Yep, they're trying to.
Which,
I know that they got ruggies and they got the purple pinchers they're able to breed.
which if you guys are interested in looking into hermit crabs and how to take care of hermit crabs, what's the channel that you watch on YouTube?
Crab
Central Station.
Station.
Crab Central Station. On YouTube is a great place to get information
And
on
then
hermit
they can
crabs.
send her to. They can send them to the thing that I'm in.
The group, the Facebook group.
Yeah. And then that they will actually answer any questions.
That's cool.
Like you could just give them a long list of them, and they will give you all the resources and everything. To the point of like approved sellers through them.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't feed them properly. They think they could just feed them commercial food, and you can't.
Yeah. Which
Anything that says hermit crab is not good.
it's that way for a lot of animals though, because
Like our reptiles.
yeah, your reptiles, you have to be very precarious with how you feed them and what you feed them. With the crabs, that they have to be very meticulously taken care of and fed.
Or they'll fight and kill each other.
Yeah, or they will kill each other, and they are social animals, and so having multiples of them does come in handy. But if they're not being fed correctly,
They don't have a tank big enough. The humidity's off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just all sorts of kind of things.
I don't like my house. I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah, that's kind of how it is. I want yours, not mine. Your house is shinier than mine.
which I think I'm going to push this one this way, and we're actually going to rotate the claw upward in this direction instead of the direction it was sitting in.
Look, I have a measurement tool right here. It goes to 20.
Oh,
And so we'll work that
I have
claw
a circle that
over.
says friendly on it. And good luck. Oh, I found that as
We'll
entertaining as I
rotate
did, but
that.
it was kind of funny.
Round,
friendly and good luck.
and we'll make sure that
Should give that one blonde hair. He looks like a bro.
They have hairs.
they do. They do have hairs. Most of their hairs are on
Their body.
their
like,
body and
legs
their
stuff.
limbs, but
If you like, if I went and got one right now, because they're awake right now, you would see their hairs are like super long. They call them tufts. But yeah, that's how they smell.
Oh,
is with the hairs.
Is with their hairs.
Which it's interesting that I mean snakes technically don't smell, but they
taste.
do. They
Yeah.
use a sense that we don't have to taste the air around them. And truthfully, I just now realized what time it is and how long we've been running. But it's interesting. Like there are a lot of different animals that have a lot of different weird traits that just that makes them what they are, and it's actually really cool to see how far they span and what kinds of stuff has evolved to be this way or that way or whatever it may be. But thank you guys for joining us. We will be live again next week. Hopefully, within next week or the week after, we will have everything balanced back out with my schedule and everybody else's schedules to where we are definitely able to go into session 5 of Pokemon Amethyst. If you guys haven't been watching those, I am editing them piece by piece as I get time.
Sorry, that's because of me.
Lately, I haven't had as much time to be able to edit and stuff like that. I am editing them, and then I will be dropping them onto the YouTube channel. Outside of that, it has been fun. You guys have a great night, and we will catch all of you